13th. 13th?
Whoa.
13th.
13th.
Yeah, 113th live stream.
Numbers.
If you're wondering why it seems like it's 4:30 EST and not 5:30 EST, it's because we went through this thing called the time change, and it's when we all secretly send messages in North America to each other to tell them that we're going to change the time zone without telling anyone else. Now, it's important that we keep it a secret until after it happens.
Yes. You can't tell anybody, you see. They'll come after us.
Yeah.
It's a hard life.
And it's a hard enough life for us. So, first up, we have the lovely Ellie Claude joining us.
Hello, hello.
And Fluffy's Eye might join us towards the end of the stream. We suspect he's an hour behind us right now.
Yes. They may have gotten lost in their plushie pile. It's always a possibility.
And I just saw Cute Pencil Case attach herself to our Picarto draw pile. So we'll see what happens there. I expect Fluff. Maybe double
As
Fluff.
always. And of course, we have the ever lovely Living Dead.
No, he's not here. It's actually his twin, Ziving Zed.
Whoa. Are you the evil one or the nice one? You're probably the nice one.
He definitely has a goatee. See,
it's a benefit. Yeah. Europeans get it earlier.
We're helping you guys out by changing our clocks. And then you guys are all like, oh, these guys changed their clocks. We should change our clock too. But after the fact.
I know, guys. We're just doing this for you. You're so important to us that we change time itself.
All right. So, Perry the Flying Chicken, you got any questions for us? Specifically about your art, I mean. In here, yeah, specifically, yeah, well, in wherever you want. I'm watching all chats at once.
Oh, that was just comedic timing. That was great.
He's got to like put pants on and then take them off again because he realizes he's only on a live stream.
What, you don't look into the camera when you stream? Because there's one everywhere.
Oh.
Awkward, did they
I
not
swear I was
tell
just
you?
scratching my leg.
Flowy mains. So the question of the hour for our first art, because we're really on track today.
Oh my gosh, we're bad.
I told you as soon as I talked to you, it was going to be one of those days. Anyway, so they want to get a better feel for flowy mains.
There's a good reference for this. What you're going to do is you're going to turn on the TV for about 30 or 40 minutes on a soap opera, and you'll see a commercial come up. It'll likely be for some type of women's shampoo, and you'll see their hair gracefully blowing in the wind. Yeah, so that's your reference.
It may sound like he's joking, but it's seriously, that is one of the best references you can use, is like real hair being flowy. It's like... It's less spiky because I see you have like a lot of spikes coming out, and while the hair does separate and stuff, it doesn't come apart that much and like go different directions. Usually flowy hair, maybe you'll have like a small strand stick out and then the rest maybe you'll be weighed down. But it's mostly, instead of doing the points, just kind of draw the lines, get the feel, feel where the hair is going, how it's attached, where it's coming out. Don't be afraid to do the full lines when you're first trying to find the flow. At least I find that helpful.
Totally. Because hair's a body, right? She's not going Super Saiyan backwards. It's just flowing. It's moving. And when hair moves together inside of that vortex of air that it's rolling through, it's actually going to pull together because it's going to create a little negative pressure inside of the bodies of it. Anyway, it's going to pull together, and it's going to try and stay within a general body. Bits will pop off, but the rest will try and stay together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you'll see that the bulk of it is together and kind of in one shape, but there's like one or two strands towards the top that kind of free themselves because they're not as attached to the center of the mass of hair. So they're kind of like free and lighter, so they could be a little more crazier. Wind does do crazy things to hair, but there's like two sides always to art. It's like you can do the accurate realism, blah 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 thing, but sometimes you also have to bend it because art is about making things look good or showing something through your vision, kind of like interpreting what you see. So sometimes it's not about getting that perfect realism because sometimes, let's face it, if you have long hair and it's windy out, it never looks beautiful. It never looks like these commercials. Like, you go for the aesthetically pleasing look most of the times.
Hello, I've come to my TARDIS and I've arrived.
Welcome.
Oh, you're now a female?
That would be interesting.
Well, that's what happened last time someone went
things.
through a TARDIS.
Yeah, I was like, oh, they're pinging me. No, am I late? Oh, don't worry, it's only like 9:30 something. You're like, get in here. Ah!
Like, I had a feeling this was gonna happen
DST.
today, right? It's like,
I
damn it,
I guess we haven't done it then. The other night when I was doing D&D, I was like, oh, it's already 5 a.m. How'd that happen? Oh, it must have been daylight saving. Nope.
How would you? Do you not notice time?
Not while you're doing D&D and trying to make a podcast.
Fair enough.
Anyway, or drawing ponies, as we tend to find out every week while we're doing this.
So, the Perry, the flying chicken. I do notice there's like a candle thing going on right here. Whoop, whoop. This is like a candle with a flame. With the amount of wind that's blowing on her hair, that flame is not going to sustain itself. So we have to go for
blow 'em out.
we have to go for total utter realism in our pony art. And
Yep. No fun allowed.
no, but what I'm trying to get at is maybe it would help to oh, cool idea.
Like, you
Smoke
could
trail.
do it with still a smoke trail leading off of it, like it's just blown out, like a gust of wind just came over her and blew out the candle and is now blowing her hair, and that sort of helped create a narrative.
That's
Yeah.
what they said in the chat.
Oh my god.
Had to make it ASMR.
It is beautiful. This is such a treat today. Zombie ASMR.
Yeah. Do you have any further questions? Because honestly, your scene building here is great. I see everything seems to be on the same perspective. It doesn't look wonky or weird. The only thing that I would say looks weird is we can see the base of the balcony here, and if we're to stretch that stuff out, I would be like, hey, the walls are only this tall, because that would end
And
there.
then we lose part of her feet.
Yeah,
And,
and unless if if they're hanging over the edge like woohoo, or she lost them in
Kinda
the
like
war.
sitting. Wow.
You
So
should
dark.
pony war.
My suggestion
The war
would
between the plushie fort and Bigfoot.
be exactly that was a bad war. My suggestion would be just get rid of the line that's right here. Can that line?
Yeah. Simple as that.
It's good to draw outside of your picture. It works easy. It's very easy with digital. Slightly more annoying with traditional.
You could overlay. You could just put your paper on top of another piece of paper and then draw over them both, and then just take the other piece of paper away.
Yeah. Yes, that is. Yeah. Did you just what? What? Where did that come from, CPC?
Pencil case.
She's made of fluff and magic.
Oh, she made
Oh,
that
they did.
before. I thought she just like 10 seconds. Poof, Pinkie Pie with other plushie.
She's still made of fluff and magic. I stand by that.
Yeah, that is true.
I'm gonna confirm it in July. Okay.
We
I
don't
know
know if she's real.
Yeah, I'll confirm that too.
I expect to see a picture of a plushie just plushing
Oh my god. CPC, you've got to bring an actual like plushie of your mouse Sona to Galacon, and it can replace you in every picture.
Yeah,
And I have my little raccoon, and there we go.
I'll be okay
I
with
support
that.
that 10 out of 10.
I know
Hello,
some
wanna
people are
draw?
shy about showing their faces.
I wanna draw.
Hey, wanna draw? You wanna draw with us? We got their picture. Which one was theirs? Theirs was...
The books, all the books.
Right, because they were
Got it.
hilarious. So, wanna draw? You had questions about avoiding responsibility. No, your question was actually about fur. No, I used everything I learned except for the fur. Sorry, guys. They had questions about eyes, not fur. CPC, you can put away the tablet pen. I lied. Fluff it good.
So my first critique is that you need eyes.
Yeah, like I was gonna say.
Their question is, how do you draw the eyes?
Yeah, pony eyes. I find them quite simple. Honestly, I guess it's just a lot of drawing them, but like I can just feel them out really easily.
Yeah.
But like they do have quite a simple shape, but also it's because you can interpret it in lots of different ways and it still look like the pony. Like you can try and copy the exact shape they have in the show, or you can have all kinds of different ways of drawing eye shape. Like anime is very limited, very specific. There are lots of different styles, but they're very specific niche styles. But with cartoon, like you look at any like Don Bluth, Disney, any like or all the other things of how they sort of draw the cartoonish faces and everything. They're so simple but so expressive, and they're really just like an oval. So with a bit of practice, you get your muscle memory in there, and boom.
Yeah, I think one of the things I see a lot of people struggling with is like, sure, we look at the main six and they all have slightly different eyes, right? All these different shapes. You don't have to go for that exact shape first. Go with an oval. Go with the simplistic shape. And you can form anything on top of that oval. That is your base. That will get you like this is the base. I don't know what else to say besides that. You want to start smaller and then add the details. Because then it starts getting hard when you're like, well, I need Fluttershy swoop to go exactly, or I need Verity's ovals.
That never went well for me, so I just stopped doing that shape of eyes for her and just gave her a different shape, and it works.
Yeah. And okay, drawing shapes is always hard, but you have to remember that you don't have to get the shape right in one stroke. We preach swoosh, which is pretty much correcting yourself. Like, oh look, I went around a few times, now I'm gonna go and correct my circle here till I feel like, oh, this is a nice circle. Look at that. And I can do the cross. And like in time, eyes, like I can swoosh out some base eyes in like a second or two because I've been practicing swooshing and circles for so goddamn long. Like every time you draw a skeleton for a body, you're practicing a circle. Like there's just so many times the circles come up.
With Pinkie Pie here, if you did like a full open eye like this, just because of how her mouth's looking, it makes her look really sort of like determined and focused, and she's holding that pen. But if you wanted to make her look more sort of like cheerful doodling, then you could instead go for like a little smiley eye. That was not what I meant to do. Nah, not quite how I thought it would. It's hard with the mouthful.
Did CPC steal
I know.
your
The point
tablet
is,
pen?
like, you can different things combined to have different effects and feels.
And don't be afraid to try different types of eyes. Like, I know we tend to go more cartoony here with like the big ovals or like the long ovals, but there's definitely so many eye shapes out there, so many artists that have so many different eye shapes and combine different eye shapes with different things. Try things out, see what kind of shapes you like, but they all start the same way, circles and ovals. That doesn't change.
Yep. And like we said, yeah, just you can have all kinds of different shapes of circles and ovals, but just look at what different artists have done, because they can range through all sorts of different kinds. And I found some ones that have just been really fun to copy and just to try out, because you can get ones that have lots of subtleties and intricate shapes. You can get really big, simple ones that still work. And it's like, just try different things out until you find something that works for you. And along the way, you'll sort of get better at doing all of them.
So I do have a question about this picture. Was the unicorn quota used up? because they sort of left out Rarity.
The girl.
You've enraged Alicorn.
The girl.
No, but
She's
it's a
angry.
very nice picture. I love all the little details of the books. A lot of uniqueness in the books. Pinkie Pie making a book fort behind her, it looks like.
Oh, that's a book she's holding. For some reason I thought it was a pen and she was doodling, but yeah. That makes sense.
There. You have angered Rarity.
Surprised it's just not a Raritato sitting on the shelf. Watch it from the distance. And now we...
Oh, there.
It has come. The reckoning.
No one invites her.
Irritatoing.
Where can I put the vanishing point? Somewhere behind it, preferably.
Yeah, I suppose you have got like the books in the front do have somewhat of an angular, so they. I mean, I don't think the vanishing point you got is particularly very bad here.
Mm-mm.
It'll
There's
look quite
not
structured.
much of a vanishing point. Like, everything's
Yeah.
so close that there won't be an extreme vanishing point. Which isn't a bad thing, necessarily. Like,
It
usually
just
when
makes
you
us look at
see-
Pinky's head.
Yeah, extra pinky attention.
That can always be good.
Are you sure?
Yep.
That Raritato. Raritato smash.
Someone's got to make her for Source Filmmaker, so she appears inside of Source Filmmaker films. It'll be great. It'll be great. Trust me.
We'll start a whole thing. But yeah, there's a few parts where I think you could add perspective, like the ladder here. I really am not seeing many other places.
Shelves.
That ladder stops way shorter than I thought it was going to. I just noticed the bottom there.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it stretches the floor way further away than it looks like it is just by looking at the ponies. Just by looking at Applejack there, like she looks the same on the same sort of distance as the others. But that ladder makes it look like she's way in the distance, but just huge. Especially when you look at Twilight underneath her, actually.
It's very small, yeah.
Yeah, I would just bring the ladder right down behind this pile of books.
Also,
because
I'd be
then
careful.
you've got everything together in one plane. Sorry, I've pushed to draw cons. I have to wait till I finish drawing to talk.
Oh, it's completely fine, completely fine. But yeah, the other thing I'd be careful of is the Applejack's barely on the ladder at all. In fact, her hoof is in front of the ladder, so there's nothing actually keeping her on except for, I mean, I guess she does have like big beefy biceps, so she could just hold herself up one arm. She would do that.
Just doing curls.
That's how she gets by Twilight's book session. She just does curls.
That's good. So it's NC Mare's Applejack. That's why she's big. I think that's a little small for NC Mare's Applejack.
It's the beginning. It's
Maybe,
the origin
that's
story.
where Rarity is. Okay, maybe it's a giant Rarity, and this is like a library built on her back. She's carrying them around.
Do you have any further questions want to draw?
I gotta say, I love the little details of like the little edgy lines here. Like, not edgy, but like there's it's not just a straight line. You know, there's
Yeah.
little like cracks to show pages.
Hmm.
It's a nice little
That's
detail.
always good. Doing this kind of picture before would have just made me so stressed. I hated drawing like all the books on shelves and things, just because it's so much detail to have to do. But I've been drawing books recently, and they are kind of fun once you get used to the shape of them. They have such an awkward shape at first.
It for me, it would be the repetitive, just like okay, another
Yeah,
book,
yeah, exactly.
another book.
Yeah, once you get the details in, they can be pretty fun.
Yeah, it can really bring together a picture.
Especially when you get to like come up with random weird titles for the book. Like it's like at first you're like, I don't want to write the titles on the sides, God, but just like make a game of it and see what kind of weird things you can come up with.
Raritato 2, the Raritatoing.
How to ship? Do they really need to be taught?
For beginners.
then that's a dummy's guide to
Very
shipping.
Shipping for
How do
dummies.
you usually gauge how big or small the pony that we should draw with the distance? Yeah, vanishing point. If you're going to draw on your vanishing point, it helps because you get to draw on the guidelines for it.
And for me, something that helps as well is just something we talked about before is just keeping the keeping up with the bigger perspective of the picture. Like just every now and then zoom out, look at where everything is, and then just say, okay, yeah, like this is smaller than this. You know, it works the same for hooves. Like looking at the legs, are they the same length? You know, and it works the same for different characters. Just look at the bigger thing, zoom out, and just have a look at everything together. Compare them in your head, and you can kind of see, oh yeah, I should shrink this character's head. I should make this part bigger. And just a matter of sort of fine tuning.
Mm-hmm. And to bleed that into, because they also asked about the composition, things that can help make things in perspective is greater overlap. Like, I think Applejack here could work out better if Twilight was overlapping her more. Because right now we see so much of Twilight and so much of Applejack, and our horn's the only thing overlapping. Sometimes a greater overlap can really push that, like, difference of area, like that perspective difference, that they're farther away from each other.
Yeah, that's why squishing characters together often works really well, because it reduces the space between them, and you can overlap them and make things just really feel better. And like I said, I also feel like Twilight's a little bit small, so if you expanded her a little bit, then you'll be sort of killing two birds with one stone.
If I may, well, the picture looks technically cool. It's got a lot of interesting elements going on, and it's not just a boring pony standing sideways. It's lacking framing, and it's lacking any real. There's a bit of a story going on, but really the framing is just nowhere to be seen. There's nothing to bring these people together and sort of be like, this is a drawing, not just a photo of a library. If you're to go look at, let me see if I can find a picture. Find a picture. No, I'm not going to find anything real quick. All right, so organically building up the framing here. You have a lot of stuff around here. Why not tell a bit more of the story of what they're doing? Yeah, and whoever's drawing the blue stuff on, awesome. For instance, yeah, a stack closer to us is going to help frame in the side. We really don't need anything across the top because no good reason for something to be across the top. I mean, it's a library, right? Who cares? But definitely something along the side to try and bring it in and give us something to look towards and then away from. If you were to, I don't know, even place a big old desk right at the front, we're looking over at them.
Yeah.
I think Pence's case latest commission work with Skidoo has a really good example of that, like framing by putting stuff in the foreground. She's got like these clouds in the foreground; they're all blurred. It looks super nice, and it brings everything together. And it's something I use occasionally too, because it does work.
So Wanna Draw also states that they just put books everywhere and they feel a bit lost in ADHD for the picture. I will say it feels that way because you have a lot of books, but it's also so empty. Like all these shelves, they're empty. There's nothing there. So you feel more because of that. You feel like, oh, I see all these groupings of books. They're everywhere. I spot them all because my eye is drawn to these groupings of books.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So something that can help, I know it's a lot of books. So
more is less.
About like if you were to fill all these shelves, that is a lot of books. But something that they can be seen as is a pattern, and humans love patterns. So if you have a very basic, very simple pattern of books, just filling that space, that'll almost blur into the background and just become simplistic despite having so many books on a shelf. Now, I can't give you the exact keys and answers how to make it work perfectly. I would just say consider things being simple, consider things being a simplified pattern, consider things being not the focus, so not giving as much detail. Something that can blur into the background but still give that feel of these shelves are filled with books. You could even do things to help, like libraries sometimes have shelves broken up, so you could just have, in between slots that are like, oh yeah, this shelf breaks up here, and like every once in a while there's another break. And that'll help also break up that just mass of books in the background. Little things you can do to help along the background to make it simple yet still broken up and not feel overwhelming.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
Woo.
Totes my goats.
Super smarty car.
Any other questions?
My computer just sent me a reminder. Get to the critique stream.
You made it!
Yay!
So yeah, any other questions? And hopefully our rambling wasn't too
Ramble on.
rambly.
I just noticed cute pencil cases fluff blowing in the wind on the picture below. That's awesome.
Oh, jeez.
Octavia with shag carpeting.
That works.
All right, then. Let's go on to the next picture.
Which one is that?
It's going to be a
Top one?
blue horse.
Blue horse.
Because we're totally prioritizing people who posted in our post. Because why not? We gotta
Sounds
choose
good.
favorites somehow.
Pay us money. No, I'm just kidding.
Excuse me. Ooh. So this is by Lucardo, and they recently drew this. Would we mind critiquing it on the stream? Trying to play around with the line thickness to give it a more natural feel. And also, probably won't be able to make it to the stream.
Sad day.
We're an hour behind. Either way, thank you guys for doing this. All right, so I would ask them if they have any questions, but we aren't gonna
They
see
will
them.
only be able to reply in the future.
Or the wait, no, how does time work?
I don't know. It got a little bit messed up today.
A little bit.
All right, so let's talk horse here. Watch these ears. This is the thing that a lot of artists seem to be slowly doing, or were doing for a while, and it's the slow and utter progression of ears up towards the top of the head till they become a horn. That is not how you become an alicorn. You do not sacrifice your ears to become a horn. Wait, no. Yeah, bring them on down. Yeah.
And if you get that overlap in, you don't need to do the entire way across as I did, but getting a little bit of overlap there will show, hey, yeah, the head goes in front of the ear here. There is a temple here. This area here of the pony's skull, this is the temple. And then you've got the eye socket. And then you've got the ear on the back. Well, not really back, but it's pretty close there.
Well, it's
There's all
behind the halfway mark.
separation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So that's why you have the little overlapping.
Apparently she can have a tongue piercing.
Or is it like a tiny little, like a pea on the tongue or something?
I really like the blue freckles is very unique.
Blue freckles? Oh, I see. Oh, I almost didn't see them.
Yeah, it's very cute. Freckles are always cute. But yeah, that specific color's really nice.
Mm-hmm. Like periwinkle. Periwinkle freckles.
I don't understand these color names.
That's a lot of freckles. Even more freckles from cute pencil case.
It's now become the young Luna. Who does that one? Highly freckled one? I think
know
it's
which one
still
you're
NC
talking about.
Mares. No, it isn't. It's
There's a few people that do it now.
The-
Wait, is Sophil?
Yes.
Sophil.
yeah. She's got like the 6 different comics. Royal Sketchbook, that's it. So adorable in that one.
Too cute. So I know originally they commented about working on line weight. In some areas, I really see some nice line weight going on. Like you have some here, like it tapers out. I'd say there's some areas where it still hurts a bit, where it feels like maybe there's something with your pen pressure or something going on where it just doesn't change size at all. Um, yeah, I wish you were here so we could ask you, but
Wishing you were here.
overall,
XOXO.
pretty much, yeah. Overall, I do like the thickness you have going on, like giving the face and like body features thicker lines makes them feel more like solid, where hair
Yeah.
gives thinner lines definitely makes it feel more light and flowy, but
Mm.
also giving it a darker outline kind of makes it feel like a solid image too. So
Yeah, you put
definitely
that
nice
well.
line. Yeah.
A lot of people sort of try to go straight for like doing super thin lines, and doing refining the lines can work later on. I think like a lot of people jump into doing way too fine lines. They're trying to create the illusion that their art is better than what close to what they want it to be, but it's like that's maybe not the best way to like get it to be that. But it's nice to use sort of have a bit of weight to your lines sometimes. And I think they're a good weight here, not too thick or too thin.
CPC.
She's being all sorts of adorable down there.
That's funny and silly.
I think that's about all I got for this one. Just because, it's just a face shot. And it's a very well done face shot. You got good line or good pen control. You got nice shading. It's good. Now do more.
Yep.
Yeah, more art,
Lots
more
more.
art.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. There's a flufficorn.
It's happening. The ears are becoming magic. Wait, it's Pinkie Pie. She's always magic.
It's true.
And very, very fluffy. It's literally just a head with fluff.
All right. We're going to do Sad Pony next. By Risen Warrior.
So sad.
And they are looking at, took some advice from the stream. How did they do this time? I'm going to look how they did last time.
That would be helpful.
Ooh, Lotus 311. Oh, sorry. I was staring at their posts. Oh, yeah, they're the person who improved quickly.
Ooh, Linky Linky?
There.
Much appreciated.
That person.
Oh yeah, I remember them. Wow, yeah.
Oh my god, the air is literally coming out of the hair. I just realized.
So,
Easy mistake, but just bring it down a little bit, just like with the last picture. Except I've just now made a horrible tangent. Ignore that.
I'm going to say something.
Tangents minus.
And don't
Yes.
take this as negative. I think you've actually taken a step back. Because if we look at your...
How do I get to a razor?
If we look at your previous picture, you had these nicely detailed wings. You had some extras like fluff and some very good hoof shape. You had like taper to the legs. Everything was there. And when you did this one, your head shape was drastically changed. It became more of a ball with a muzzle sticking onto the bottom of it. It's almost as though parts of it are a step back. That's okay. It happens. Don't be discouraged by that. You're at least drawing.
Mm-hmm.
Like art goes up, down, sideways, left, right, diagonally, twisting and turning all kinds of directions. It's not a straight line. Like you will be discovering different things, trying different things, and sometimes you learn something and it doesn't work the next time you draw it, or like it. Sometimes you learn something and it does get better, as it should do when you draw later on. You cannot expect anything because it's unpredictable. But the important thing is to keep trying to experiment with different things and look at the stuff you've done before as well, and what you've done, what you feel like you've done wrong in your previous pictures, with your new and improved analytical eye from having gained more experience, and then you look at how have I changed in those areas in the pictures I've drawn recently, have I moved in the right direction or perhaps not the right direction how I wanted to move? Yes, that's that's pretty
Accurate.
much a cute answer case. So you can analyze like how like the path you're taking, like the squiggly path that Cubanza Case is drawing, and say, okay, yeah, I've sorry, my brain farted because I was distracted. You could be like, yeah, so I've improved this way, or maybe you improved in ways you didn't realize you were going to improve in, by accident, because that happens. It's important to just analyze what you're doing now and what you've done in the past, and sort of put them together, and you get like a much clearer idea.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all good to do things differently. That's not a bad thing. Like Ellie said, don't be discouraged. Doing things differently is perfect, because then you're
Absolutely. I
going to be
mean,
trying new things and improving.
exactly. Experimentation in art is a thing. No matter how quote unquote good you are, you're gonna do bad at something you do the first time. You're experimenting. You don't know what you're doing. This is uncharted territory, which is a lot of artists get scared to go off into uncharted territory. They want to keep what's comfy. But just because you're not going to be good at it at first doesn't mean you can't improve like you've improved on all the other things. So it just takes time, practice, and a squiggly monster line of squiggles. But other than that, I think something I see over all your images is that I think might be hurting you right now is you're trying to be so clean. You're not letting yourself get messy at all. You're not letting yourself figure things out. You're trying to get that perfect line and erase all evidence of an undersketch. You don't have to do that. I know you go looking at DeviantArt or any kind of art blog and you see, oh wow, this person did a sketch and it looks like it's line art. That's not you. You're learning, you're figuring things out, and half the times they don't have majority of the time their sketches do not look like line arts. You see someone's 10%.
Yes, exactly.
Like it's something a lot of people are afraid to do too, because they're like, oh, if I post a messy sketch, I look like I'm bad. I need to be perfect and clean like everyone else, and
Absolutely,
it's just
yeah.
not the fact. Be messy, figure things out, go over
Yeah.
it with darker lines after you figure things out. Don't feel like you need to erase all evidence of ever trying.
Yeah, and in case you know some of my art, because I think I don't finish much stuff lately because of time, but like I post a lot of draw along sketches and stuff. Oftentimes people are like, oh, but your sketches are so super clean and pretty, and it's like, yeah, because I like polish them for way longer than I should be doing. But like that's just because I want to, and it's not trying to be it's not being anxious about like how people see the art. I just want it to look nice, and that I think is what you should be focusing on. If you want to refine and polish a sketch because it's super good, then absolutely. But my sketches are messy. Everyone's sketches are messy when they're just doing it loosely and enjoying it and making good stuff, because you've got to be messy sometimes.
Yeah, don't be afraid of the mess. Art, all the expression, all the like movement and like the feeling in art starts from mess. You can't get movement from stiff, clean lines. That's just not going to happen. You need to let yourself find that movement, be expressive, go past anatomy, and then bring it back to anatomy.
All right.
Yeah, a lot of people shadow kick are. I guess a lot of people can be sort of afraid to post their messy stuff. I disagree though. I see plenty of people posting like really messy, sketchy sketches up, and it just looks nice, and they can be just as nice as the super clean ones.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's also worth remembering that you don't need to post all your sketches. Sometimes sketches are just for you, just for practice. You don't need to show the world. You don't need to have that pressure of needing to show the world. Every once in a while, yeah, show them, get critique, see how you can improve. But don't feel like you need to post everything you draw needs to be postable, because that'll definitely stop you from drawing. Feel that pressure to perform. It's for you. It's for you to experience, for you to draw. It's your art.
I have hundreds of pages of sketches. Hundreds. So many books just filled, not posted, but only because they're learning.
Yeah, and I think I heard someone talking about this in our MLPDS Discord just the other day. Like sometimes, because some of our super good friends do struggle a lot with the sort of pressure of like trying to get something finished or trying to make something nice, or the pressure that people are going to see it. And advice I saw recently in our chat was, sometimes the best things have been just to draw pictures and absolutely like not upload them, because then like as you're drawing them, they're not going up. They're just for you. They're for you to go wild with. There's no standard. There's no restrictions. You just do what you want to experiment with, and if it doesn't work, who cares? You've done something and tried something new, and maybe you can refine it and make it work next time and discover something you wouldn't have if you were like being super worried about like what you've been doing, about what people are going to think when they saw it.
I think it's always great for an artist to have multiple sketchbooks. One that is your junk book, which is, you call it that so you make yourself feel better,
Yes.
but junk doesn't actually go in there. I mean, you put your attempts in there and no one else has to see. It's for you. It's yours. Sometimes something good will come of it and maybe you want to share, but it's the no pressure sketchbook. And then there's other cleaner sketchbooks and like nicer paper sketchbooks. Have a variety. Oh, and the junk one, cover it in stickers. Go to random pages and put stickers on it, or like just random lines, so you don't feel that like, oh, I can't ruin a beautiful blank page. It's like, well, there's already a sticker there. There's already like a random marker line. Boom.
Yeah, I mean, we had this conversation about sketchbooks as well, because I was saying that my one is like a really nice one I got from a museum website, and I said it as a joke because it's not entirely serious, but I was like, the pressure of, no, I want this. It's in the sketchbook. It's better be a good drawing kind of thing. But I wasn't totally serious. But that is a thing that people do have, and they're like, oh, who cares? Just draw junk in it. Like, I was like, I need to get like a super cheap sketchbook just for like junk drawing, because that is a good idea, Ali. That is a good thing that people need to do sometimes. And if you're a digital artist, which I do think digital art is super great. There's something I saw recently on Tumblr when someone's posting, they just like how important it is for digital artists to do traditional sometimes. Like that's what I used to do, because I didn't really know how to draw with my tablet. So I would draw with pencil and I would scan it and I'd use GIMP to color it with the path tools. And that worked really well just for me to learn how to draw like in style and stuff, because I had this easy way of doing digital. And that didn't last forever. I needed to improve eventually, but it was super good just having that like physical drawing. And I forgot how nice that was until recently, and because I'd not been doing any traditional, and it can be so like liberating, and you can really like, sometimes you can just get lost doing digital, and you do the traditional again, and it can just sort of reawaken stuff, help you learn things that you were struggling with, because you have so much control over the pen, and it just feels great. But like obviously this is a traditional sketch here. I don't do they do digital stuff? I'm not sure.
I've only seen traditional so far.
Okay, yeah, because it's always worth thinking about doing in the future. Because I mean, if you can get access to a scanner or even a photo, however you've got this drawing to us today, then there are programs you can use to make art, even if you don't have a graphics tablet. So it's always worth making that extra leap.
All right.
But only when you feel like you're ready, though.
Shall we move on to the next one?
Sounds good to me.
Wait, I gotta upload it. Paste it. One of those things. Paste it.
Paste.
Hello, horseshoe.
It's a pink horse.
Pink Paul.
Ooh.
All right, Anon. Got any questions for us about your pink horse? Your pink floofy horse? Your pink floofy pony?
That is a very cute pony.
Punkity ponk pink.
I love the little face and the eyes and mouth. It's so cute. And it's an extremely fluffy hair. That's like alley claw level, but like even heavier.
General critique. Very fluffy. The hips no longer attached for the outside. I think that would be... Oh, come on, tablet. Hey, when it does this. Because the angle you're on, your hip would be over here. Just if we... Yeah. Because the purpleness down there. Try not to separate hips. I know it's awfully tempting because you're like, hey, I want the leg over here. I want it outside so I can get the inside of that hip. Now, unfortunately, unless if you're really stretching on that one, it's going to be inside of there.
And I would also be careful of actually how it's sitting, because I don't know. To me, I feel like we're looking at the body at a bit of an angle, like
Yeah,
almost
it's
like
like
she's
third
sitting like
quarterly.
this. Well, not even that, but like looking at the ground.
Oh, right,
Her
like
her
perspective
butt's not
angle, right?
even touching the ground. And I do understand some people draw a pony sitting up on their back legs because, horse anatomy and all that. But yeah, like Zai. Zai over here is drawing a nice example. Like, they really
Very
do squat
terribly, but
down. It just the idea though that they do squat down. They don't just like push themselves up on their legs.
yeah.
They sit comfortably. They're ponies. Yeah, I'd say their front legs are a smidge too long.
Also, poor Pinky has lost an ear.
Oh
Just
no.
one little line, and it's back.
Yay.
I know this might sound odd, but you might want to cut down on the floofiness of the hair a bit.
Yeah, I was like, this is very like voluminous mane here.
See, okay, you can pull off giant hair like this. I think the main problem for me is that it doesn't feel like hair. It feels like this like mass on her head. Because I know she has crazy curly hair that's like puffy, but everything's the same thickness, hitting the same line, hitting the same circle, hitting the same like it's almost like it's not even real. It like Fluffy has going over there. There's different size curls, there's loops, there's weight to it that's not just big. Like
And this
even
side bit is
for
very huge as well.
it's very huge, and it's floating. It's not laying against her. It's just kind of like sticking off to the side like a piece of plastic. Where like you could have things like it overlapping and maybe like chunking up over her shoulder and having it sit on her, or you don't have to have everything be a huge bump for her curls. They can be like little jaggy bits, because there's different ways to interpret curly hair, but if you're going purely show style, even the show style has different size bumps.
I mean, it's the same technique with fluff. This or something like this.
If we just use a pin, we can pop the mane.
But then she'll go Picomania on us.
Any other questions, Anon? Because it's looking pretty good. She's even got a kitty
Yeah.
face. Meow.
The only other thing I'd say is be careful of that. Her mane's kind of like a mohawk, so if we just draw a line, it's kind of off to the side of it. Because if we draw the full circle, it'll actually have a deeper curve too.
Did you just fluff a needle? Oh, she
That's the case.
She is capable of everything.
This is what we use to sew the plushies for extra fluff power.
The way her front of the hoof. Yeah. Yes, to your question.
I was gonna stay away from the legs, so I'm not usually very good at doing legs.
You're just
But
fine
I'll
at them,
try.
buddy. Just fine.
I don't want to give a false tutorial of how to do something right when it isn't right.
If her hip's on the ground, that's fine. Like the way you have it. If we drop her hip. If you're not, you want to pop the front of the legs up. No, sorry, vice versa. If her hip's on the ground, generally you want to pop the front of the legs up just a bit because they're scooching. opposed to putting weight on the bottom of the leg. At least you can. I mean, it's art. Interpret how you want. Your horse is doing what your horse wants to do.
Them horses thinking they can do whatever they want.
Do you have any other questions for us? Shame about the main No, it's not a shame. You live and learn. Just you've done over the top. Now go grab your digital picture. Go grab the eraser. Erase for all of 10 seconds, and then go draw a new main. Or draw a whole new picture.
Like I said, like, sure, this is really big for her, but there's artists that do huge hair, and if that's what you're going for, I say great, but make it feel more like hair, you know? Don't just have it be blobs. Do a little more than just show style outlines. Get some volume in there, get some different texture, get some oomph to it, you know? Because show style works because it's simple, and they keep it simple, and everything kind of has a size to it. But the second you go away, you need to compensate for that, you know? Think of all the things that can change and help it improve to be a bigger mane or different proportions like a chibi or long legs or short legs or, you know.
Yeah, so any specific tutorials you can follow? You mean on like just doing Pinky's hair or like the floof in general specifically? Or because honestly, like Perry said, show reference, that's how I've learnt Pinky or anyone's mane, just looking at the show reference. Like there's this one picture I like to give an example where I don't have it on me at hand, but like I drew Pinky in one of my OCs, and it just like it didn't look right at all, and I was like, oh no, I'm sure I can remember this. Like I know what she looks like, you know, but I couldn't get it right. Used a show style, tried again, copied, like just looked at it, studied like where all the lines went, where the curves felt. It looked so much better, and obviously I've gotten even better since then. But like just studying the show style, best tutorial you can get. And then you move on to other styles if you want to experiment. Like movie art book, absolutely. Movie art book is great because you see the actual sketches that they've done. Again, like sketchy, messy sketches. Like, you know, what better confirmation do you need than like the movie art book having the messy sketches in it?
I totally agree with Dino. Like referencing your favorite artist. If there's an artist that does hair you really
100%.
reference them too. There's no not reference. Combine
and
them all.
And there's no reason to which is the best reference. Use all of them. Try studying all of them. If there's an artist you like, if there's two artists you like with different styles, try experimenting with both of them. If you like the show style, try that too. Use everything. Like there's no reason to like pick one over the others and then abandon all else, you know? Yeah.
Exactly.
Madacon's thing, CBC, good example.
That's exactly the artist. Like, see, they have huge poofy hair, but they
make it work, yeah.
Layers and volume. It's not just the outline like the show.
And I think it's the specific like overall shape of it. Like they've got it to work specifically.
It's a very nice flow. They consider like the flow of everything.
Send the link in the Keepence case.
I know it's easy to say shading will help, but sometimes it's not the case.
Yeah, it definitely. Oh my god, Keepence case. It definitely can't. Like, I'd say shading can improve what's already there. Like I have had a picture where I've drawn like an okay Pinky mane, and then I've done shading and like happy accidents occurred, and I came up with something that had like super nice, like the shading actually added to the 3D shape of it. But like that was an experiment that went well. You know, sometimes it won't go well, and I needed to have the base shape already like sorted out. You know, shading and coloring is never an excuse for drawing. It can just like help to improve what you've done. You know. And yeah, I think that's actually a good idea. Just exaggerate, try all like the going too far, then stretch it in like a really stylistic, strange kind of way, and then go back and forth.
AKA, have fun, experiment, figure things out, do things wrong.
Try everything.
Copyright.
Oh god!
Copyright the furries.
I always hear it in his accent when he writes it.
I always read people like you guys who I talk to frequently in voice. I always read your messages in your voice. Like I can't not.
You should go on The Voice.
Exclamation point voice. You got added voice. No problem, man on pony.
Hopefully
Alright.
it's helpful.
Thank you for letting us critique it.
On to the last picture submitted. There's a lot of poof going on down there.
Poof the
You
floof.
can always tell which ones we haven't critiqued yet because they're not covered in fluff.
Yep, it's a good way to tell.
It helps, yeah, it keeps track.
This one is by Buttmaster. They're just asking for a critique.
Booty.
Of course, it's a Bob Ross reference.
No, happy accidents are very much a thing. Like they happen, and it's a thing. That's just what they're called.
But not happy
Because
car accidents.
No. Only when it's with a pencil. But only specifically when drawing with a pencil. Like I had one yesterday when I was working on the thing, and I was talking to Ali about it, and we were discussing which version worked the best.
Actually, you raised a very valid point, Allie. What
What's that?
incarnation of Twilight Sparkle is this? Because I don't recall a dirt horse version.
She's the new Gen 5,
Ah,
you know.
spoilers. All her power has been removed. Why? She traded it for a Twinkie.
That was terrible, huh?
You just now
So-
won a Twinkie.
For me, I think the big thing is that you made the muzzle just a bit too long. I just quick drew a circle with eyes and the quick, cross shape on the face so we can, find the proportions for things. And honestly, burp, doesn't I know I do this. I used to do this all the time where I'd overcompensate the muzzle because it's not as big as you think it is, especially if you're doing show style like here. The muzzle is actually really tiny. It's like this little boop coming out. It's these little boopable buttons coming out of their face. So it's super easy to just go too far with that, because especially if you look at horses, muzzles are their face. It's the whole entire thing. It's just a long muzzle. So definitely something to play with if you're not doing super show style, but I'm just going to go off the show style proportions since this is very much what I see you have drawn in. So yeah, I would just consider making it shorter and boop it. Just boop it a few times. That'll help you get it right. Just,
Boop it shorter.
boop it shorter. Oh, and I would also make your ears a little bigger. They're little tiny ears. She can't hear. She can't hear her friends whining to her about reading books. She can't hear it.
Very elegant way of putting it.
Twilight is one of the few horses that easily cover the other ear with the mane. You are allowed this one. This one!
The exception.
So if I may, go on to proportions. If we're going with standard MLP horse, we use that head, that pink circle that she has drawn for us, as our guide. And then we take this, we can transpose it over the rest of the body. I know I can already hear people going, oh my gosh, not the head method. We're doing the head method, guys.
Listen, it's a good starting point.
We take
Until
that
you get that feel.
totally, and then you get to break it in all sorts of exciting ways. So we take that head, we get to measure it with the legs. Legs equal about one head tall. The body, it's actually, brain fart. There we go. The body's actually very short when it comes to them. They're made up of 2 circles, and the total length of that is about one head, give or take 3 or 1/5 of a head. I know we're going into fractions here. I can give it to you in decimal value if you really want. Give or take
0.756 bits.
Okay. Give or take a little bit, depending on the angle they are, and which horse they are, and what you feel like doing that day. We're going to take those, and we just transpose them back onto our horse, and it makes a very easy standardized horse. one that you can just take a rubber stamp and go, standard horse, standard horse, standard horse. When you get the standard horse down, then you get to take that rubber stamp, throw it out the window, and start drawing your own horse. The reason we like to make you work from the standard one and then work away from that is because once you get the standard one figured out and you've broken down and you understand why it's doing it, then it's a lot easier to break your horse in all exciting and wonderful ways, but ways that make sense because you have the source material to work off. It'd be like writing a Shakespearean play without ever reading Shakespeare. It doesn't make sense. Go read your source material, then write your Shakespeare fanfics.
Mm-hmm. Wait a second. I'm gonna do a crossover fic where Romeo falls in love with
Pinkie Pie.
would be a good one. I was trying to pull another Shakespeare, but sure.
Rarity.
Hi.
Fanfics here.
She's theatrical.
Yes. I hope that makes sense.
That's true. Okay, so the tail.
I know it seems like we always talk about the show. It's like you can only teach so much. There's a lot to artists, to being an artist, to drawing that takes practice, and there's stuff we can't tell you what to do because it just comes from your practice and experimenting on your own. So the reason why we always teach like show style and like why we don't push for like hardcore stylization and all that on this stream itself is because it's really important to learn from a point. You know, it's something we can all circle around and agree that yes, this is what show ponies look like and this is what real life horses look like. This is something we can all gather around, connect, and look at pictures with and all agree that yes, we all see the same thing. So that's why we always start there, but we always encourage you to go off and try new things. But that's why we do the boring stuff here, because there's boring parts to art, and you do gotta practice. I'm sorry, but you gotta practice. Everyone has to practice. It's like brushing your teeth, taking a shower, eating breakfast. You gotta do it.
And now do all three at once.
Yeah. Bacon flavored toothpaste.
I hate how little undo this program has. Like I gotta fix the tail. Whatever, good enough. I have to accidentally rub out all Keepens Casey's lovely doodles to get rid of it now.
Don't do it.
I just wanted to straighten up this line. Whatever.
But yeah.
And that's it
So you
for
covered-
art that we've had submitted. Anyone else have
Yeah.
any pictures they'd like us to critique? If not, you know where we'll be next week. Here. Same time. Well,
Same place, same pony people.
wait, when's the American or the European time zone change? When do
I
you
have
get
no
to that?
idea.
You sent a link. Oh, you did send a link. My apologies. It's in the third chat.
Too many chats, 5 me.
It's it's out of hand some days. I even downloaded it. And she even sized it so I didn't have to do editing.
Aww.
Keepens Case is too amazing.
So your question was horse, hair, horse. No. Not sure if you're looking for regular critique. You're just finish the background and then you tried to draw the horse to make the horse fit. I think you might have jumped the horse. Wait, no, jumped the gut. No. How does this phrase go? You might have gone into a wrong direction there. During your thumbnailing, most of this should have been sort of ish worked out. And before you got into rendering, it should have been worked out. That being said, we can totally make this work.
I think she drew. She was saying in the art chat she just kind of started doodling, and before she realized that she had this beach, and I'm not sure, but I think she was just like deciding to add a pony to the beach, as she often does with our little doodles, adding ponies to everything. But she can confirm if that's correct or not.
Buckersterve.
Or was it initially intended to have a pony?
Pucker Serve just finished a piece and they want to show it off.
Hey,
I encourage people to show off work too. Not everything's
That's good.
share
we
your work.
critique this thing.
Oh, I remember
Oh
this
my
one.
God,
This
it's
is
so cool.
good. Oh, I
The-
love seeing it finish.
Freaking Northern
Where
Lights.
is it?
It's
Let
in
me click- I'll
Pick
click
Arthur
it, I'll
chat.
click it, click.
Can
Oh yeah, I saw them posting a couple versions of this. That's great. That's fantastic.
can
Oh, I
I
love it.
make a suggestion to it though? While I wait for CPC's answer. Your Northern Lights are too bold. They're too sharp. We're talking about a gaseous effect up in the sky. You will get some quasi sharp lines, but really it's sort of dull and faded, and it's bright, but it's not sharp.
Still, I think that's like so beautiful though. Like you've really worked the background colors so nicely.
Oh yeah,
And I
freaking
really
gorgeous.
think the composition has improved so much. Like it feels fuller. Feels like it's livelier, you know?
And the footprints, yes. Oh, the little hoofy prints.
Vision Poofy Prince.
Great. And the two claw prints.
Like if I was to spend 5 or 10 minutes on this picture, I would think I would just take a blending brush and attack the Northern Lights and just pull
It would
from the
take, like, a
base of it
minute.
and pull upwards.
It's fine if you really don't want to work on it anymore though. What is Ali called?
I'm just drawing circles around this dot.
I think I might have made that accidentally when I was trying to zoom in.
It's
I don't
fine.
know,
I'm
maybe it was me,
enjoying
maybe it
myself.
wasn't.
I'm enjoying myself with the dot.
So Celestia, I think part of the problem is your CPC. Back to yours. Celestia looks like she's like leaning on the side of this object. Like it's a round, small stone island, sand beach thingy. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, it's rounded, right? It's a rounded object. I would take this leg and just lower it down just a bit so it falls behind here. I'm gonna go darker color, orange on orange violence here. Holy cow, go darker. Jeez.
Or try a different color.
No, that's still orange. I
Probably
can't get off
blue.
orange. There it goes. We're gonna shallow out that leg. It'll help make it look like at least it's smaller, so she's sitting on the curve of that. Her butt stuck into the pole here. That's a little
Or at
awkward
least
to me.
against it.
So I have actually an idea for two things: how to do this, how to like paint her, and how to deal with the butt thing. I'd actually have the tail wrap around the flagpole and kind of like have her butt right up against it. And as for painting it, I would say just make it one layer and paint all on one layer, right on top of everything, and then
Crazy.
erase away what you need to overlap.
Ooh.
Oh no, it's like traditional painting. Oh, how crazy!
Absolutely insane. Not using the abilities of
cannot.
digital.
No, only one. Well, you can use
I
more than
have
one.
withdrawals without layers.
But
Say,
keeping it simple and just kind of not like, because I think you're overthinking about lining it and all this stuff, but just make it simple. Just kind of block in everything, get it detailed. Well, obviously that's not the steps. 1, put down the color. 2, make the fucking painting. I used that one word for the day.
God, Ali.
We're now PG-13. But I know it seems silly, and like I'm severely taking away your layers. I know how people love layers, but don't overthink it. This is a very painterly piece going on behind you.
Mhm.
Just treat the first one like that too.
Also, can I just say I really love the painting on the umbrella. Like the colors are so rich and they work so perfectly, and it just looks shiny and smooth. It's nice. It's really
My
cool.
favorite's the island and the sun and the
I
water.
like the blue like reflected on the inside of the umbrella. That's really cool. From like the water.
See, I knew it. I knew you almost did it in one layer. do the same thing for Celestia and then erase away what you want to overlap with the thing behind you. Boom.
You're just really excited.
I got caught up in the excitement.
That's good. I can see your lowercase I get telltale caps lock. But yeah, I mean, it can sometimes be very helpful to keep it simple like that, because we do sort of get over involved in like trying to split up everything. I personally like really need to look up and study how like actual painting on one layer even works, because I'm like, but the tool like paints everywhere, not where I want it to go. Like how? But it can work very well, especially if you've got like some sort of more subtle tools to help control the more bold tools. You use all your tools. It works.
Yeah, it usually comes down to just building up. Do like layers of like on top of itself, building it up slowly,
Like
sharpening
layers
it
of
up.
color
tuning
rather than
it.
layers in the actual image.
Yeah. Everything requires layers. It's just, different types of layers.
Different forms
One sec.
of layers.
Oh, yeah.
The Living Dead
Live
adventure.
stream.
Live stream adventure. I think I remember seeing that video somewhere. It's definitely an interesting technique. I like the idea of like coloring over your sketch, kind of like. I feel like I've seen a lot of artists do that. They have their sketch, and then they fill in underneath, and then they go on top of it.
I've always really wanted to learn how to do digital painting. It's just something that's always been elusive to me. I can do just about do lineless coloring, even then it's difficult.
Well, do it. What's stopping you? Is it the fluff? Is it
always
telling
the
you to
fluff.
burn stuff?
It's eating some really delicious chocolate right now. That's what's stopping me.
Whoa,
My hands
whoa.
are my hands are too sticky for the tablet.
Share, bro. Alright, we have a last up picture here then.
Ooh.
Or at least last submitted. This is by Pucksturv, the person we were just talking about previously to CPC and halfway through CPC's critique when we got distracted by other art. This is a piece they're working on. It's just a colored sketch, but they want to know where to go next.
First of all, I love your color harmony going on here. This sunset is lovely. This is a lovely orange with blues in it still. This is like, it's reflecting everywhere, and other parts of the nature is picking up on the orange. I really love that. And I
Yeah,
gotta
like
give
the
you props
color
for that.
really like works well together. Nothing like super contrasts against things.
Mm-hmm.
I would
So where to go next?
I would throw more of that color onto your horse, because you've thrown it onto
Yes.
the area in front of him, but not onto him. Well, there's a little on him, but let's try and even that out, because he's only a few hoovesies away from the front there, and light didn't fall off that quickly.
I kind of think of it like, I like how there's wait, were these added in, these little like light lines on the
No.
leg? I didn't notice.
They're,
No, okay.
they're theirs.
They're there. Okay, so I like how those are there, but we look at like something like its face. We see this gradient on the face where it goes light to dark for, showing how the light hits on the face. I would have, the thing that I think is that there's no orange in that light. It is just light to dark. There's no influence of the sunset at all. But you do have nice influences with these streaks going down the legs and such. And I know this is just a sketch, colored sketch, but it's little stuff like that, just getting it more infused with the light, your general light that hits all over. Where to go next?
I would just render it. Just finish the rendering and call it a day.
It's a nice. I'd maybe like give some more ripples in the water, because I love this base of the water. This is a beautiful color base, and now we go over top of it and kind of start adding details, adding feelings, like maybe little ripples to the water that extra catch the light. Like if I can grab an orangey color, just like, oh, that wave is shining above and like doing a little hump so the color catches it more than everything else, because even if it's pristine water, there's still parts that'll sparkle in the sun. Like water just sparkles, even if it's calm, if it's wavy, you name it. Water loves light.
Absolutely. I think the hoodie's very swell too. Horse.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I did a very bad job of it, but I made like a dodge layer and was just sort of airbrushing on. But what I would do is have like a hue layer or even normal or screen or something, or just I don't know whatever. But I would just have like a little bit of an adjustment effect over the top of them, just like a little sort of like faint, not too bright, not too saturated orange color, and then just sort of like uh mess with the opacity and whatever. Because it only needs to be something subtle, but just to sort of help draw him into this sunset, because it's like everything's very like the sunset is it casts everything in a very sort of golden light, and it would just sort of help to blend the character a little bit more into the painting to just like have a little bit of an adjustment there. And you can experiment with it, and if it doesn't work, then okay, but it's always worth playing with.
Ooh, also a nice little touch. I'd consider this little cave down here, having light pour through that. Just
Ooh,
like,
that'd be lovely. That'd
because
be
that'll be
really
a nice
good.
pop.
Yeah. Yeah. What she said. Go wild. Also, I feel really sorry for whoever owns this boat out here. Like,
I was gonna say, is that a boat? That's they have to swim out to it now.
well, I mean, they could be Pegasus or a unicorn and just magic it over, right?
Oh, you could have a silhouette of a pony fishing off the boat.
Coupons case, you're giving me ideas for Tales of Equestria campaigns now.
The Fluff Treasure Island. Everything's hairy. Ew.
I actually have to like make that. Oh, there we go. There's a pony fishing. Nice.
Just little messy pony. You can definitely do a nicer silhouette than I just did. Just threw it together.
Although I do like the sort of like not really loneliness, but solitude of the picture with just like the one pony. But
That's
it's sort of
true.
like I am wondering why there's a boat just randomly floating out there.
Well, now you have an answer.
Yeah.
Because
It
they're
sort of, it sort of
fishy.
depends. Do you want to have like a boat floating there for no reason with no narrative to explain that? Do you want to have a boat with a pony in it fishing, but know that that sort of takes away from like this sort of like solitary
Mm-hmm.
feel, or do you want to go for like that initial idea and just remove the boat altogether? There are all sorts of options you can do.
If you want something there and you want to keep the solitude, maybe just a rock, because sometimes there's random rocks that poke out of the water.
Yeah, and you could have like a rope tied to the boat.
Well, like you could get rid of the rock. I mean, the boat totally, and just have the rock
Oh,
there.
you
Like,
just wanted to have something filling space, yeah.
mm-hmm.
I'd go with rock.
Yeah. Or like an old boat that just kind of drifted away and it's just kind of floating there. Because there's not really much because it's just like a silhouette and it's good like
Mhm.
that. It's hard to really describe that with the picture. You can't really add much detail here, so it's like it just kind of looks like a boat just floated away. And
Yeah, I think if
you can create a narrative with little details, but like it just sort of matters how you're able to do that.
So, like, something to consider if you are making a narrative, like where there's a boat out there, is the boat important? Like, is that the
Yeah.
story you're telling in this picture? Are they
Yeah,
looking for the boat? Is this boat something that needs to be focused on? If it's just an element to have a breakup, then I would say don't
Do it over
worry
here.
too much about it. Yeah, like,
A little boat in the background there.
all in the background. It's nice to add these touches, like broken boats and
Oh,
stuff,
oh,
but
oh,
just to have one broken
oh.
boat and nothing else, kind of what?
I suck it. I'm gonna have to zoom in here. Hold on. Let me try this again.
What, a sailboat in the distance?
Yeah, little sailboat sails in the distance here. I cannot draw this, and there's like a real like the pen's lagging behind where I'm drawing, and it's really hard to draw this. But I'm trying to draw triangles. Okay, triangles are trying to happen. That they look like trees. That sucked. I'm sorry. I'm gonna see. I'll take off my the pen. Where's that button I found that gives me my smoothing? There it is.
So I'd say your green's actually really nice because it's subdued. It's like a cool green compared to such warm, lush blues and oranges you got going on. So I'm not offended by it or anything. I think it's just that you don't have it as rendered, like you don't have it rendered out yet. It's kind of flat still, so you don't have that feeling of everything interacting. Especially like with the water, or there'll be stuff on the grass too to break it up. Maybe there's little pebbles or rocks there, or sand. Maybe there's sand there. It's like a cliff on a waterside. Maybe there's a little sand
Yeah,
with the grass. It's dying out because it's on a cliffside.
it's a giant fluff monster.
Of course, you have to add the giant fluff monster. That's an every
That's
man
mandatory. You know, a
rule.
lot of the things we give here in this critique exchange are just like suggestions. No, that has to be.
This is
It cannot be without it. What's going to defend the fluff treasure? You know.
but yeah, no, I think your colors are really nice because your ground is subdued and your background really makes the pony pop. Like I am so focused on looking at the pony because of the composition you have going on right now. Just because the foreground, like, well, not the foreground, but the ground the pony's standing on supports it in a way that it doesn't take over. So like going any brighter, going any darker, I think it would start to take over the pony.
Yeah.
But maybe that could be something you could add as a little foreground, like branch or bush, like hanging over here. Not this bright green, obviously, but something that'll like even push the layers of perspective further. Tree branch or something. I don't know. Have fun with look up things. Maybe a flower bush sitting here.
Oh yeah, bush could work.
Yeah, foreground is so great at pushing any kind of like picture with depth, especially like this long of a leap of depth where you have like so many things in the distance, which is good, and it makes it feels that pop even more. You know, just have a bird about to slam into the viewer's screen, just like splat right there. You could even have something like growing off the ledge and then have it come up here. So you're like, oh yeah, we're like right near a ledge point. And that'll inform the viewer that like it's part of what you're seeing and then also in front of. Yep, there's the bird slamming right into the screen. That great perspective tip. Just have a bird crashing into the camera lens.
I suggest against that.
But Zom, you have to have the crashing bird and the fluff monsters. This is the only way to make art.
You just got to overlap the wing, so you know it's in front.
Silliness aside, I hope that was helpful. Yeah, I think adding a bedroll could be cool. Like, if you're having his little camp out area, I think that could be nice. That's a narrative. He's staying there and he's just enjoying the sights. You know, he's not just going out for a hike. He's hanging out there.
Yeah. To have supplies when you're traveling.
The cookies and plushies.
Redrawing the bird because I deleted it. Oh, no, it's a sad bird. Confused.
I mean, he traveled all the way to the end of the world.
Oh, it splattered into the camera.
It cracked the.
Keep it guys, you're amazing.
This is how you know we've gone on for too long tonight.
Yeah, there's always this point in the stream.
Well, we do have no other art that's submitted, so anyone else, please feel free to submit art to us. And if not, we'll take ourselves offline shortly and continue laughing.
We're a crazy group here.
We're having way too. Keeping case and I are just going way too into this. I did do that whole like cracked screen thing for the stream.
The thing in the water is a pony on a boat. It's a horse on a boat. Horse boat.
Oh, yeah, Ali drew a silhouette in the boat, and then Q-Pen's case helped.
Q-Pen's case fluffed that silhouette because she will fluff everything and anything. Wait, why is the cracking glass not fluffed? Come on, CPC. Come on, get on your game.
Oh, yeah.
We're just like, fine.
I'm sorry, Puck. I'm sorry. They outshone you today, and I'm sorry about that. We just didn't want to embarrass
It's
you,
just a
but
masterpiece.
this
Wait,
is just too good.
we forgot the bird. He might be injured, but he deserves to be fluffy. Just flattened fluff. There we go.
We apologize to all people of future and past streams for our shenanigans.
This is it. We've jumped the shark.
I don't.
We've thrown the bird against the glass. That's a new expression.
CPC is not sorry. So yeah, I guess this is finally it. I think we should call it.
All right. Thank you all for coming. Reminder, time zones exist, and ours decided to change without alerting the rest of them down the row.
Yeah. This is
Sad
why my
days.
radio show now works on universal time coordinated instead of people's random time zones that change independently of one another.
See, that wouldn't work because I would have ended up doing this at work.
Forgetting like I did.
No, I would have been at work during this time.
Oh, right.
So it's basically what I'm saying is the show circles around me. It's all about me.
Yep.
It's the Zom show.
Do
That's
we-
not the critique stream.
do we
We
charge
just show up
these?
to throw fluff on everything.
Yes, we do charge Horse. We charge 1,000,000 hugs. Better get on it.
Yes, you too
I
can
charged-
have your art turned into a masterpiece for a low price of hug.
I charge 10 hugs and 3 friendship tokens. Thank you.
Friendship tokens.
Yeah, Tales of Question friendship tokens. Yeah.
All right. Thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you again next week.
Bye-bye.